All right, let's talk about a huge and growing blind spot in the world of AI. It's called the visibility gap. And the idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. When it comes to AI, what you can't see is exactly what's putting you at the most risk. So, let's pull back that curtain. In most companies, there's this comfortable feeling floating around. The thinking is kind of like, hey, we've got policies for this, our people are smart, our existing security should catch it. It creates this sense that AI usage is basically handled, under control.
But what if that feeling of control is just an illusion? What if it's based on a picture that's missing, 90% of the puzzle pieces? What if the real AI adoption is happening in the shadows, in ways we haven't even thought to look? That's the real question we've got to answer.
And that leads us right into our first big idea here, the illusion of AI control. We're about to break down this massive gap between what organizations think is going on with AI and what's actually happening on the ground.
This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, that's the cozy world of assumptions. Our employees follow the rules, our security's good enough, we've got it covered. But then you look at the right, and that's the messy reality. Sensitive data, we're talking customer info, source code, M&A docs, it could be flowing right into public prompts. Hidden AI tools that nobody even approved might be running all over your network. And maybe the biggest one, AI is probably already embedded in the everyday apps you use and trust.
So, what happens when that illusion shatters? Well, that brings us to the moment of truth. We call it the live reveal. That moment when leaders get a raw, unfiltered look at what is really happening in their own environment, right now.
And this is where things get kind of wild. Within just minutes of seeing live data, teams often find some pretty shocking stuff. And these aren't just hypotheticals. We're talking about AI tools they never knew existed being used, sensitive data and internal code going straight into public models, and get this, AI agents running around completely unsupervised.
This quote just nails it. It's one of the first assumptions to completely fall apart. This idea that AI is just something you do in a web browser, it gets proven wrong almost instantly. The truth is, it's baked deep into developer tools, system apps, and so much more.
And here's another huge one. A lot of the SaaS tools we all use every single day, they're quietly embedding AI features. And these just fly under the radar because, hey, it's a trusted app, right? Our old security tools, they just weren't built to look at that kind of traffic.
So you look at all these discoveries, and you realize they're all pointing to the exact same core problem. The issue isn't really a failure of policy, it's a failure to see. And this is what we call the visibility gap. So let's be super clear about what this means. The visibility gap is that dangerous blind spot between what you assume your AI usage looks like and the reality of what's actually happening live right now inside your organization.
In this quote, this says it all. The failure isn't about making a bad judgment call or deciding what to allow or block. It's way more fundamental. You just can't govern what you can't see. Simple as that. Okay, so if the big problem is a lack of visibility, then the solution has to start right there. And that brings us to our next section, how getting that live visibility just changes the entire game.
The fix for this is an approach called a control plane. Now, it might sound a little technical, but it breaks down into 3 really simple steps. First, it sits across everything, monitoring your employees, your developers, your AI apps. Second, it watches in real time. It sees the prompts, the uploads, the tool calls as they happen. And third, it enforces your policy instantly, before anything sensitive ever leaves your network.
And this is absolutely crucial. Talking about data exposure is one thing. It's abstract, it's easy to ignore. But actually seeing a live map of your company's sensitive data flowing into an AI tool you didn't even know existed, that's different. That makes the risk real and it makes it immediate. All the ambiguity just vanishes. So what's the result when you get this kind of vision? It's probably not what you're expecting. And that brings us to our final section, moving from a dangerous blind spot to a state of real clarity.
When leaders finally get the full picture, you'd think the reaction would be panic, right? But it's not. Overwhelmingly, the reaction is clarity. All of a sudden, the problem isn't this vague, scary monster. It's a specific set of pathways and behaviors that you can actually understand, measure, and, manage.
And that's why teams start digging into their AI footprint. It stops being about buying some new tool and starts being about answering fundamental questions. What's our real AI usage? Are our assumptions totally wrong? Where are our policies actually breaking down? And maybe the biggest one, is this an urgent problem we have to solve now or not? Seeing the data gives you the answer. And really, that brings us to the bottom line. AI risk isn't some theoretical line item on a risk spreadsheet. It's a live event. It's a constant stream of actions and data flows happening inside your organization right now.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. When it comes to all the AI being used in your world, how clear is your vision, really? And what might you be missing in those blind spots? Thanks for tuning in.